This is a video chart presentation of Southern Home Medical Equipment brought to you by healthcarestock.net. Southern Home is a pink sheet company trading under ticker SHOM. We did this video right back in here saying it looked like it was a good chance of continuation. We identified some support and resistance points. There at the ending part of last week, it blew through it. See big volume. So we're going to take a look at this chart and see what it looks like from here on. Everything we saw that was going on earlier, the trend back towards zero, the MACD, there came the big breakout, moving averages in a great position. This chart's obviously very strong, very bullish at this point. It's gone into full-blown breakout mode, so we're going to see some of these indicators that are starting to get into exaggerated levels. Momentum has grabbed control of this. Still holding a strong uptrend with the PPO, much like the MACD. ADX is only registering about a 38 right now, so there's still more room for this to try and gather steam. The ADX doesn't really get exaggerated until it gets up near 60 or so. So holding a 38 is just showing a very strong trend, and of course, nice uptrend to it. At this point, we're going to want to see it break through 40, make a new higher high than it did last time. But nice look to the ADX for a momentum play. As we always reference, you're looking for the upper half of the indicators to be held. There you can see the MFI holding well over 50. Just now, all three of them breaking into 80. That's what you want to see them all moving together like that. That's a sign of strength. You can see when the 7 creates a lot of distance, it always wants to recover real quickly. You like to see them moving together. That's what they're doing. Very bullish look to the MFI. When we looked at this last time, we were talking about wanting to see this take this level out and make some new highs. You can see it did. Accumulation distribution continuing to make new highs, showing that buying pressure is still strong. Shaking money flow holding in the green, showing that buying pressure is dominant. So these three volume-based indicators are showing good signs of bullishness. Seeing a little bit of a retrace through here, but when a stock makes a move like that, there's going to be some profit taking. There's just no two ways about it. That's the way it works. So there's going to be a little bit of selling mixed in with it. But by holding in the green, that's showing that buying pressure is still outweighing selling pressure. Very nice overall uptrend to the CCI. Of course, per definition, the buy signal was right through there on the break of 100. It's a hold until it breaks back down through 100. I always look for uptrends to be held, and I want to see this hold over top of zero. So I'll pay attention to that trend line on any pullbacks, because that can be a bounce point again. Full stow holding the upper half, staying in bull chart territory. Hasn't even broke through 80 yet. The breakthrough 80 is showing a lot of strength. Holding over 50 is very important, and the breakthrough 80, it's considered overbought territory, but we know from previous charts it can trend at overbought or oversold territories for a long period of time. So we just want to see it hold up in this area and show continued strength. Trick's a very slow, smooth indicator, of course. Sharp trend back towards zero. That's when the strong break came. Still holding a very strong uptrend. Tricks has got a little ways to go, too. It's getting pretty far north of zero right now, but it still has some ways to go before you really start looking at it for a definitive pullback point. RSIs have kind of run right along with everything else. Holding the upper half of the indicator, showing a lot of strength and bullishness. All breaking through 70 at this point. What momentum traders call the power zone. Again, it can trend up in there and show a lot of strength for a long period of time. The important thing is on pullbacks, hold this bull chart position and keep the strength of the overall uptrend of the chart. These candles really just make a great pattern. One, it's a good lesson in technical analysis when you see these moving averages all pulling together like this, where they're all bunched up in this area. Your eyes should be widening for a bigger move. And of course, that's exactly what happened with SHOM. But this can also be looked at as a cup and handle sort of pattern. There's the cup, rounds itself out, holds a firm support level for the bottom part of the cup, makes the right-hand side of it, consolidates into a handle, and then there comes the breakout. You could take it, you could look at just this part and call this part a flag if you chose to, but a cup and handle is a very strong pattern. When you can see something like this develop and then see the handle forming, again, you should be on lookout for resistance points to be broken. In the case of SHOM, there was a definitive resistance level right there at 0045 and another one right there at 05. It touched it several times, couldn't make it through it. And when it broke through and held above 005 on that big volume, there was a good chance at least another day was going to come behind it. There still is potential for another day. You see this upper shadow right here? That's what I was referencing in those volume-based indicators, because when it goes up and peaks out and some selling starts to happen, it'll turn those indicators back down because people are going to take profits. It's always important to remember that 1 cent is a psychological barrier of resistance, and when stocks start to get up near that level, on many occasions people will take that as a selling point, and it'll pull the stock right back down. There's nothing wrong with the retrace. You look for retrace points to hold support levels, allow the indicators to reset themselves a little bit before taking a run again at resistance. And that just happens to be one of those areas where that sort of thing will typically happen. I want to throw these Fibonacci's on here real quick, because this chart has definitely established an uptrend. If it wants to pull back, like I say, that's perfectly fine. We're going to look for this 005 as a PPS, a static support level to hold. And any pullback to 0045, which I just showed a moment ago, was a solid area of resistance. It also happens to be the 61.8 retracement point. So if this does happen to pull back down here, technical traders, we pay close attention to this area. Now again, that's based right on this movement that as of Friday. This puts together another up day. These Fibonacci's will really not be in effect anymore because you're trying to find the high point and then look for a retrace. So that's an important thing to note. This comes right out and continues on Monday. The Fibonacci's would have to be looked at again, pulling a high point and then finding the retracement. I wanted to put them on there to show how they can reiterate this support level right in through 0045 and 005. As I mentioned, this is in full-blown breakout mode. There's no static price per share resistance in its way. The only place that can really be identified as resistance will be the 0095 because of Friday. As I mentioned, keep that penny marker in mind because of the psychological barrier it forms. Another important thing to note on momentum plays is this pink line, the 10-day moving average. It's lagging behind now, obviously, because of the strength of the two moves, but it moves very quickly and it will catch back up to this price per share. Keep an eye on that with tying in with the support levels, because technical traders will use that 10-day moving average on momentum plays as a buy and sell point. The price per share breaks back down through it, it's a sell, and then when it curls and breaks back up through it, it's a buy point again, because it's been shown to be pretty reliable on momentum plays to follow that. When it breaks back up through the 10, the stock is pulled back and consolidated and it's ready to run again. So keep an eye on that pink line on any sort of pullbacks, and let that help tie in with support levels and see if the price per share bounces off of it. Again, you just try and put together all these little components and use it to try and increase odds to determine when continuation is going to happen. But at this point, the Southern Home chart was just a beautiful example of solid technical analysis and a strong move on a breakout. As always, the annotated video chart is merely my interpretation. I'm not a financial consultant and strongly encourage you to do your own proper due diligence, consult with a qualified financial advisor before making any investment decisions. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. Please visit the healthcarestock.net website to view the full disclaimer disclosure and do not base any investment decisions upon any material found on the website and/or this video chart. No person employed by healthcarestock.net is a registered investment advisor or licensed broker-dealer. Thank you for watching and trade smart.